Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the Droopy Dog Gamer. I'm Leighton. If you like our content, please remember to hit like and subscribe. It really helps our little channel to grow. Today we're looking at the first in the series of the best games you've probably never played. Roll the credits! So, this week I've mainly been binge watching Cobra Kai on Netflix. Yes, I'm always the last to the party, but even if you're later than me and haven't seen it, Cobra Kai follows the 80s films The Karate Kid. Everybody's seen The Karate Kid, and it catches up with their current day-to-day life. All the characters are now in their 50s. Daniel-san and the hero of the series, Johnny Lawrence, who was the main bad guy in the films, and in the first film I should say, and it catches up on their lives, and it's just awesome. I don't want to spoil any of it for you. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It is an absolute must to watch. So I've been watching that and it has totally inspired my gaming this week, and I wanted to go sort of retro, and I also wanted some karate kung fu action in my games. So I went to the original one, the king, the daddy of fighting games, Street Fighter. So I went to Street Fighter, downloaded it, and this week on offer is Street Fighter 5 the Champions Edition, and it's reduced from $24.99 down to £16.79, which isn't much of a saving anyway, but it's worth a go. So I downloaded it. Street Fighter 5, it's going to be Street Fighter, you know what you're going to get, and I was so disappointed. You get about 7 characters unlocked, and the rest of the characters are all locked, and I was just really disappointed with the game. So I played it for a bit, and I haven't played Street Fighter for ages, and I was really disappointed. It's alright, it's an okay game. You're probably going to disagree with me, but I was so disappointed. Mortal Kombat's still on offer, and it's an awesome game. I love Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 11, which you can get the PS5 version for about 30 quid, I think, still on the PlayStation Store on the Critics' Choice sale. But there's definitely a couple of games on the brand new sale which is big in Japan, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So big in Japan has got Fire Pro Wrestling. Now I mentioned Fire Pro Wrestling in the very first video that we did. It was on sale then. So Fire Pro Wrestling is reduced from $44.99, although that's not been $44.99 when it first came out, but it's been reduced from $44.99 right down to £13.49. Do not let those 2D graphics put you off. When you first see Fire Pro Wrestling, you'll go, what is this? It looks awful, but it's not. It's kind of retro 2D, and it is the most intricate, detailed game with such depth to the fighting. It's brilliant, and it's so customizable. You can customize all the characters, and the amazing thing is you can download other people's custom characters. So if you're a fan of 80s wrestling, you can download all the 80s characters, such as Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Ric Flair, all the old wrestlers. And it doesn't stop there. People have made characters for all sorts of things, from films. You've got Sylvester Stallone, you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can have like a virtual battle of almost anyone. It's brilliant. And you can also get on offer as well the Fire Pro Promoter, which is reduced from $15.99 down to £6.39 this month. Fire Pro Promoter is a bit like having, let's compare it to football. So if you've got FIFA Soccer, Fire Pro Promoter would be Football Manager, where you can run your own wrestling promotion and you can sell tickets, build up your arena. You start off in like little tiny civic halls and town halls, and you build up to big arenas, and you get more and more people watching. You get television deals, and it's just brilliant. So I recommend the base game at £13.49 plus Fire Pro Promoter. And you've got hours of fun there, and like I say, you can download extra characters, you can alter their moves, and it's just the best wrestling game on the PlayStation. It's almost one of the best fighting games, I think. It's weird when you first get into it, but once you're into it, you will be hooked. It's brilliant. So I've already mentioned that game. So I was sort of looking around. I thought, okay, Street Fighter's a real big disappointment. And so I then looked. Tekken, a couple of the Tekken packs are on offer this week, the season passes, but the actual Tekken game is still £30, and I've played Tekken to death anyway, so I kind of looked and thought, okay, what else is there on offer? And I went to Dead or Alive. So if you don't know, Dead or Alive is kind of, some people almost called it the poor man's Tekken. It was a game that came out in 1996 in the arcades, and it came out a year later on the Sega Saturn. So when you first looked at Dead or Alive, it looked like 40% of the game's budget had been spent on boob animation, and it was a very odd game. So you could dress all the characters up in these loads of different outfits, which it seemed to feature on, and I suppose Dead or Alive 5 was kind of the pinnacle, which was on the PlayStation 3 era, and that's still available on PlayStation now. Dead or Alive 5 has one of the most sophisticated defence systems in it. So for me, as a casual fighter fan of the genre, I think it's easier to pick up, it's more accessible than Street Fighter. You don't have to punch in like this 15-digit combination of buttons to pull off a few of the moves. And you stand more of a chance against the people online that probably studied the game. But there's plenty of room in there to get in depth in the game and really learn how the fighting system works. And it's a pure joy when you do. It's a really good sort of system to the game. Now, when you compare the game to Tekken, there's not as many playable characters. I think there's about 31, and that's including a few of the download characters. Tekken, I think there's sort of 40 or 50 characters in Tekken. And that was what really disappointed me with Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 5, initially you just get 7 unlocked characters, and you have to grind your way through to get all these characters, and it's just boring. And when you think sort of back in the day in Street Fighter 2, most of the characters are unlocked, so you could just play the game and enjoy it. Whereas now you get 7 playable characters, and even the basic old characters like Guile are all hidden behind locks, and it takes ages to unlock them. Now, the other thing that got my attention in Dead or Alive, some of the characters are from other games, which is really cool retro characters. So there's a few characters in there from the Sega Virtua Fighter series, and there's a couple of characters in there from King of the Fighters, which for me, I've talked about the Neo Geo. The Neo Geo console in the 80s was like the kingpin. It was the ultimate console. King of the Fighters for me is still one of the best fighting games on any system ever, and there's a couple of sort of characters from King of the Fighters in Dead or Alive, so that's worth it for me, just that alone. Anyway, enough of me talking about the game. Let's actually play the game and see what you think. So this is the character selection screen and all the characters in the game. You've got Zack the Funky DJ, Tina, you've got Helena, the Fortune's heiress, Bass, King of the Ring, you've got Mila, the hot-blooded champ, you've got the Christy. These are all the characters in the game, and as you can see, they're all unlocked, so they're pretty cool. That's Rig. I like Rig, he's a good character. You've got Hitomi, Li Fang, which is like a Li Chung copy, Jan Li, you've got Bayman, the classic sort of military man, Diego, the uncrowned street hero, Hayabusa, who's like your typical ninja, another sort of ninja character. You got Marie Rose. There's quite a few females in the game, as I've said before. And as you can see, all the characters are unlocked. You've only got a few characters that are locked in the game, which I think is really, really cool. And then down here, you've got a few of the extra DLC characters. Phase 4 is a DLC character, but if you go for the digital deluxe version of the game, she's free. Let's jump to the tutorial section of the game now. So you'll get different tutorials that you've got to complete, and this is another part of the game where you'll see like it's almost like the training dojo, and it'll ask you to do different things such as blocking and defending, and you obviously also get to learn the actual sort of fighting system of the game. So there we go. So I've done that, completed that tutorial, and you move on to the next tutorial. And you'll see at the bottom, if you press the different buttons on the controller, there you go. At the bottom you'll see the arrows, and there we go, and that's another tutorial completed. I really love the fact that it's got a proper tutorial, and you can learn the proper mechanics, the fighting mechanics of the game. That's really good. Let's move on now to a proper match and see how we get on. So here we are, we're in arcade mode, and I'm going to choose hard, and we're going to go on. Let's choose the DLC character. So as I said, you've got two versions of this game. You've got the standard edition, which is just over £16, currently on offer at the moment, it's reduced. And you've also got the digital deluxe version, which is just over £20. So for about £4, you get Phase 4, where you can't see much of her. She's pretty hidden in a cloak, and she's one of the DLC characters. And the DLC on this game was the main criticism of the game when it was brand new. The DLC is ridiculous. For like one of the sort of season passes, it's usually about 50 quid, and there's about 3 or 4 different season passes. You could easily spend £300 or £400 on this game, and that was the major criticism. But while it's on offer, like it is, £16 for the base game, I'm getting my ass kicked on here. Let's get it back. There we go. And yeah, so for the digital deluxe, you get this extra character, you get a whole costume pack. I think it's pretty good value. This is a pretty futuristic looking level. This is close, we're getting close. Knockout! First round to me. So this is Phase 4, as she's known. Yeah, I'm pretty much destroying this level. And as you can see, a couple of special moves there. Knockout. 2 rounds, 2-0. I'm the winner. Let's do another match. See if we can find somebody else. The loading times on this game are not too bad at all. You feel like you get into the matches quite quickly, and that's really good. It's a good part of the game. I'm going to go for the scientist now, and let's see how we do this time around. We're on a different background, a different arena, and we'll see how we get on. You'll also notice that the music soundtrack is more rock, which I think is good. It's kind of like on Tekken, it's more of a techno soundtrack that kind of gets a bit irritating. I quite like my techno music, but it gets a bit irritating on Tekken. So I'm Nico. Oh my goodness, she's just destroyed me. I've gone on the next level up as well. I'm still in the arcade mode. That was a counter, so I countered her again, and I've won the round. You can have the best of 3, or you can have the best of 5. You can choose how many rounds you want in certain game modes. I've got to try and pull one back now. She's ahead of me a little bit, even though I'm a round up. And as I say, I really like this game because you can just kind of, you know, it's quite easy to get into, but you find that you can just, oh man. Here's me saying it's easy to get into, she's just destroyed me, but it's easy to get into, but you suddenly find the depth of the fight system in it is really good. It's probably not quite as the depth isn't quite as much as Tekken, but Tekken I feel you have to learn the... Oh, I'm destroyed. Tekken, you have to learn all the combos. I guess the animations could be a little bit better in this game. When you kind of knock them... I won. 2 rounds to me. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is... The animation, you know, when you knock them into the corner, you kind of feel that It could be a little bit better, but it's not too bad. The graphics are nice. It's nice, smooth sort of feel to the game. The other thing, I guess, with the game is I'm on this next level now. So the other thing, I feel that you can either have this game in Japanese, which obviously was what it was created in, or you can have the American English audio. And the English American audio is very badly dubbed. But I don't mind that. Kind of gives it that retro martial arts film feel to it.
Get ready, fight!
4-hit combo, not bad. Some of the combos you can go like up to 10, 12 hit combos. I felt that. So you see, just span over there, and the animation wasn't the best. Oh man, she's totally destroying me now. It's all about the timing on this game, and I like when you throw a punch, you're genuinely open to kind of getting a counter, and that's, to me, that's what sort of fighting games should be. You really risk opening yourself up by doing some of the bigger moves. I'm gonna get beaten. This is not good. And she gets me. Game over. Now, when Dead or Alive 6 was first released, it was released in a whole hub of controversy, and the hardcore fans were very disappointed with the game. It's never been a cheap game, and it's always been known for its really expensive add-ons. And some of the add-on season packs are like 70 quid, and all you get is costumes and 2 characters. It's ridiculously overpriced. Even for some of just the sort of bikini packs and various packs, they bring a Christmas pack out, a bikini pack out, they're like 20-30 quid, and no, just it's a cash cow. Do not waste your money on that unless you're like the hardcore of the hardcore fans of the series. However, now the game's been discounted to less than 20 quid for the base game, £16. It's an absolute bargain and a great game for that money. And if you want to spend an extra £3 or £4, you get an extra character and you get a set of costume packs for all the different characters in the game, and that's worth it. So for 20 quid, definitely indulge and get the digital deluxe version. And like I say, sort of value for money wise, you get most of the characters unlocked, and for the money, I think at the moment it's the best fighting game on offer on PlayStation Store. So those 2 games, Fire Pro Wrestling, which I mentioned earlier on, and Dead or Alive 6, are definitely my 2 games that I recommend in the Big in Japan sale this week on PlayStation Store. Hope you've enjoyed our content. If you have, please remember to hit like and subscribe. We're the channel that likes to help you build your digital games collection for as least money as possible. We'll see you next time on the Droopy Dog Gamer.